Even when you're surrounded by people, you eat apples like you're a wet apple goblin. You can always tell the night people because they're like, what are we doing after this? It's like, can you imagine? Sounds so terrible. I am a terrible person. Again.
Joe Firestone!
I'm Joe Firestone, I'm a comedian, and this is how I get it done. So I will wake up around 8 a.m. and then take the dog for about a 20-minute walk. And then I come back, I feed the dog, and then I'll usually make a pot of coffee and try to write. No exercise, no. I was thinking about it. I'm open to exercise. It could happen any day. I could become a dancer. I try to write first thing in the morning, and then once I've done 3 pages, I'll say that's enough. We can't keep going, Usually the writing is pretty sad, pretty destitute. A lot of comedy I do is based on bad things that have happened. It's part of the process to kind of get it out. With comedy, you're always trying to sharpen your voice and figure out your perspective, and that'll help you kind of write the jokes. And when you're your own boss and you're just left to write for yourself, you're just kind of sharpening your voice and learning to trust yourself. So it does seem especially when I talk to younger comedians, that they feel like they have to do everything in order to get anywhere. And I think that can be really overwhelming, to feel like you have to start a podcast and make a web series and get a good 10 minutes of stand-up within a year or whatever. Sometimes what people do is they worry about making the best album or the best video, and there is no such thing. I guess I try to make it that it'll be as good as I can make it, but it's not going to be the greatest thing I ever make. Like the trash heap in Pennsylvania. It's not like there's one big piece of trash that makes the heap. It's all of New Yorkers' trash gradually heaping on that makes this body of trash. Okay, so we are at Littlefield, which is a venue in Brooklyn that has a lot of comedy. And we do this weekly show here called Butterboy, and I do it with Maeve Higgins and Aparna Nancherla. For tonight, we are hosting it, so we just do a little bit at the top and just try to get people in a good enough mood to be respectful and laugh at the rest of the comics. So I think for something like this, I just try to think I don't talk about death, don't talk about blood, and then kind of get in a headspace where I'm not thinking about death and blood and kind of go from there. So if it's a stand-up show that I'm doing material at, then it's a little bit more of a familiar brain loop.
I used to, in my wild youth, I used to hook up with strangers. It's a terrible idea. You're touching someone you don't even know. You're leaving your fingerprints on them. What if there was a crime?
If it goes badly, then I sulk for the next, I'll go ahead and say an hour and a half, especially if it's raining. But if it goes well, then I'll just forget it ever happened and go home and eat a snack. It's not a good career for mental health. With acting and TV appearances, you really don't know how it goes, ever. At least with live shows, you're well, that was bad, or that was good. And with acting, or even with live bits in The Tonight Show or anything, you really have no idea how it goes.
Hey, Amy and Joe, do you guys know each other?
No!
Yes.
Well, that's awkward.
All right, let's...
And you don't know if people are lying to you when they say they laugh. I've never laughed at television. I don't know who does. But it is cool. I think it makes your family proud of you. And people you went to elementary school with, they really are into you doing TV. So I do have some imposter syndrome. Whenever I get anything, I can think of 6 people off the top of my head that would be better at it. But for me personally, my journey has been to just kind of think about something else and cash the check. So like tonight, I just host Butterboy. I'm thinking it'll probably be done at like 9:30, and then I'll probably get on the train. I've been reading this book called The Joke by Milan Kundera, the narrator, pretty good, Ludwig. About to get in some big trouble with the Communist Party, don't know what's gonna happen. And then I'll probably eat some soup. I made some soup last night. I'd say I cook a pot of something once a week. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. If it's bad, I'm pretty upset about it. And if it's good, I can't stop talking about it. Really into talking about it. Then do like the crossword. I watch Great British Bake Off, and when I'm tired of that, I'll start watching the same movie over and over again. It's kind of either Silence of the Lambs or Trolls. I wish I had skincare. It seems pretty nice. You know, put your waters on, put your oils on, go to sleep, wake up smooth like a piece of paper. I'll brush my teeth, really trying to get that floss in there, but that's probably a once a week kind of thing, and then go to sleep thinking, well, that was quite a day.